Well, hi everyone. Well, sorry for the long wait. Now we're going to start part 2 of the January 2014 Arachnotour video. And as I promised, I am going to be covering the New World tarantulas. So now the New World species are exclusively found in the 3 American continents: North America, Central America, and South America. But first, I do want to update you on the Old World collection. So a lot has happened since the first video. One of my Old Worlds just recently molted, and I just got a new edition, and it's an Old World. And it's one that I've been eyeing for quite some time, and actually never had an opportunity to get one, and now I have. So I just wanted to give you an update on my Sarcharis marshali, the straight-horned baboon. As you've seen in my part 1 video, you really couldn't see her that well. Now, I just recently found a molt right beside her web bed, so she molted. And she's actually put on a considerable size. It's around about 1.5 inches, maybe about 1 3/4 inches now. And it might actually be a male, but I'm not positive. I don't think I can sex a molt that small, but hopefully the next time I'll catch that one out. Very cool. And this is the most recent addition to my new collection. This is a Old World baboon from Africa. Now I've been eyeing on this one for quite some time. It's kind of rare that you actually come across these in the Canadian hobby, but I want to introduce you to my 2-inch female E.pachypus, which is also known as the stout-legged baboon. And you could tell as it's called a stout-legged baboon by its very thick hairs on the hind legs. They're kind of appearing blackish. Now this specimen probably could be in pre-molt right now. It looks certainly be well fed. It is a confirmed female. I checked by the ventral shot. So I do want to show you this nice baboon. It gets around 4.5 inches when they get older. And it's usually one that I recommend for a good starter Old World species because unlike most baboons, these are actually quite docile. So you can tolerate a lot of disturbances, unlike the OBT and the king baboon, which are pretty nasty tempered. This one's not actually that bad at all. And some of these can actually be handled, but again, caution is advised for these guys because they do have potent venom, so I don't want you to get bitten by that. But it's a very, very cool species. Right now it's around 2 inches. It's certainly got lot of more growing to do. These get around to having a 4.5 to 5 inch leg span, so yeah. Alright everyone, so I think I showed you around 32 of my tarantulas, at least for the Old Worlds. Now let's start off with the New Worlds. Okay, this is number 33. This is my 5-inch female Phormictopus simani, Costa Rican zebra, named Stripes. Alright, so you could probably make out the legs inside the skull. This is tarantula number 34, Nondu colorado velocis, which is a Brazilian black and white. This is a 5-inch female named Mina. I'm not going to prod her out anymore because she loves kicking hair, and her hairs actually make me break out in hives, as you've seen in an earlier video that I've taken, I think last year or the year before. So right now I'm a little bit itchy from just opening up her cage, so I'm going to leave her alone. Okay, so I'm at T number 36. I think I screwed up on the numbering system, but that's kind of usually what happens to me, even though I'm a math teacher. But anyway, this is a Lasiodora difficilis, a beautiful Brazilian fire red bird eater. This is a 6-inch mature female named Dora. I've had her since 2009 as a 2-inch sling, and look and behold, she's a monster right now. So, yeah, as you probably can see, she's missing one of her palps. Now, this is a very common question that I get from beginners or first-time tea owners, and they're kind of worried about their tarantulas with 6 or 7 legs, and they're wondering if there's anything they can do with that. Well, you don't really have anything reason to worry. Tarantulas in the wild will lose limbs in an effort to escape from predators. So tarantulas are just like any other inverts, like starfish. Whenever they lose their limbs, they have the ability to regenerate. I wish we humans can actually regenerate our limbs if we get into trouble. But whenever they molt, that is when they will grow back. So the first molt generally the lost leg will look very thin and very gimpy, but it will take at least another molt before you can actually see there's no difference. So as you can see, Dora has been eating fine, as you've seen in most of my feeding videos. Speaking of which, I have one that is going to be recorded tomorrow, since I just recently got some crickets. So you have no reason to worry about it. I even had one of my tarantulas, I'm not sure if you actually remember, from a couple of years ago, named George or Layla, which was my old M. robustum. Well, he, because I found him to be a male, he lost both of his hind legs. And he was still eating normally. And what was really weird is that in 2 weeks, he actually molted and he grew his legs back. Very strange in my care, because usually I feed my tarantulas once a month. See the feeding videos, because they have an interesting pattern that you'll know. And yeah, and he grew his legs back and he was normal until the day he died. Number 37 is Maryland II, a 4-inch female Phormictopus calcodes, desert blonde. This is a male desert blonde, Phormictopus calcodes. Now this is Ricardo. He's around, I would say, 3.5 inches, not quite 4 yet. So this guy is an immature male. So now, how do I prove that this guy is an immature male? But you'll see by the following. Well, he loves shaking his hair. It's pretty normal for my Phormictopus calcodes, since most of them really don't tend to flick as much. He's an exception. Now, Phormictopus species, when they mature, they'll start to lose all their color. So all of the blonde patterns on the legs will be gone and will be replaced by black color, and they'll have a bronze carapace with tibial hooks on their first pair of legs. So that's how you can tell if your Phormictopus is mature, because they do show sexual dimorphism at that size. So if you are interested, just look at my Phormictopus calcodes mating attempts video that I did the year before, and you'll really see the differences between a male and a female. So I bought these two as a pair from Tarantula Canada. These guys will be eventually paired up once they mature out. She's mature, but this guy isn't. And number 39 is the same species, but this guy is a little sling that I named Marge. I bought this one off eMan, I believe 2 or 3 years ago. Hasn't grown that much. I got this one as a 1/2 inch, now it's about 3/4. These guys grow like molasses. They take on average 8 to 10 years to fully grow, but hey, on the bright side, they live an extremely long time. My first one, named Marilyn, died at age 28, so it's incredible how these Phormictopus live extremely long lifespans, and very good for a beginner. Alright, tea number 40. I actually got Morris in a good position. This is Morris Rose, my Grammosola rosea red phase, the red form. This is a 2.5 inch juvenile male. And over yonder is my 4-inch juvenile female red phase rose hair. Right, this is number 42, my normal form of the rose hair. This is the popular pet trait rosea that you find in a pet store, the ones with the pink carapace and the brown body. Now this is Michaela. She's a 6-inch female, and she's kind of one of my more unique rose hairs, is that she webs, and really most of these species aren't really infamous for webbing. I guess she's an exception. And we all met Talia sooner or later at some point in my videos. You haven't seen her in a lot recently because she's on her unpredictable feeding fast that most of these species are infamous for. She's currently on her 7th month of fasting. No matter how many tries I tried to feed her on camera, she just simply doesn't eat. But I'm not really worried about her because she has a fair size of abdomen. And she really hasn't molted in a long time. I think around her 2.5 years since she last molted. And if you want to compare the normal form to the red phase, I'll show it to you. Once again, this is the normal form. And this is the red phase. And there's a lot of debates whether or not these two are the same species or different species altogether. There's simply not enough research being done on the Grammosola species, so we can't prove that Grammosola poteri, which is the one that people market as the normal form, really is a different species compared to the Rosea RCF. To me, I think they're the same species, just different color morphs. And also not to be confused with Paraphysa scrophra, which is the Chilean copper. Looks a lot like the red phase, except they're a little bit smaller, and they have a classical mirror patch, as most of the Euophyllus species do, on their abdomen. Since mine does not have that, that means she's the true G. rosea red phase. Here is Cat, a beautiful 6-inch mature female, Avicularia urticans, which is the giant Peru pink toe. Right away you could tell that this is a pink toe by their pink feet. T number 45, this is the very first tarantula that I bought from TC, is my mature female Eupalistris camperstratus, the pink zebra beauty. 4.5-inch female named Yasmin. So this guy is not going to get as big as Yasmin, who gets up to having a 6-inch leg span. These guys get up to having a 4.5. This is known as the white-collared tarantula, or Eupalistris wagenbergi. This is around a 3/4-inch spiderling. Number 47 is one of my female Grammosola pulchripes, Chaco goldeni. This is my 4-inch female named Peach. Number 48 is Wendy, Peach's sister, from the same sack. And of course, how can we not forget Charlotte, which is the largest female that I have. She's really pretty because she recently molted 2 months ago. And you can see her golden knee patterns are exquisite. And here's one for the ladies. Pretty in pink is Stella. My 3.5, almost 4-inch Cyclosternum fasciatum, which is known as the Costa Rican tiger rump. Number 51 is my stunning 5.5-inch female Brachypelma albiceps, which is called the Mexican gold red rump. And this is Alberto, my juvenile male. Once he matures, he'll be bred with her, and we're going to get some nice B. albiceps babies. Yeah, so definitely will take at least another 2 or 3 more years before he matures. Because like most of these Brachypelmas, they're pretty slow growing. This T, Curly Sue, a Brachypelma abulpulosum, curly hair. Now I said that my P. barrow is actually my favorite tarantula, but when people ask me which is the one that I truly love the most, happens to be this one. She holds a dear spot in my heart, and I really cry if she dies. She's been with me since I started collecting tarantulas 19 years ago when I was a 12-year-old boy. Now I'm 31 years old. And I got her in the pet store as an aliquot specimen, so I would assume she's 19 plus at least 7-8 years, so yeah, 26, 27 years old. One of my few original tarantulas left in my collection. And she is really catatonic and the real definition of grandma. Very sweet girl. See, I can pick her up no problem. She does have a little blemish from the substrate that she was on a couple of years ago when I was too young. But as you can see, doesn't stop her from surviving. She's a lone survivor. She's absolutely one of my favorite tarantulas. And this is usually why I recommend curly hairs to be one of the top beginner species, simply because of her catatonic attitude. See, I can just touch her, and she just doesn't do anything. You know, I really love this tarantula, and it'd be a really sad day in my collection if she does end up passing away, which we know the time will come because she's getting old. This is Aragog, This is the one that Logan gave to me, another curly hair. As you can see why it's called the curly hair, because of the hair all over her knees are very curly. So I just want to give you an overall temperament of this Biova pilosum, very drastically different than Curly Sue. I'm just going to touch her very gently on the abdomen. Oh, there we go, you see that? And that was a bite there, but maybe she's actually quite hungry. So, you know, you really have to trust your specimens, and you have to follow that principle that I've been saying time and time again. Individual specimens do vary, so I really lucked out on these pairs simply because I have one female and one male that I've sexed by molts. Very crazy. So these are my pair of Brachypelma auratum, the Mexican flame knee. This is Leon, the male. As you can see, he's much more leggier than Claire, who is my female. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, I did get the names from Resident Evil 2. And you can see why they call it the flame knee, because you can see the flame tip knees on the specimen clearly here, and it's much more prominent on Leon. You can really see. Really nice specimen. Very identical to the B. Smithy, except they're a lot more skittish and they love to kick hairs, as most of these Brachypelmas like to do. Well, haha, I knew at some point that this one was going to molt, and that she did. Oh wow, a dark triangle. So this is a Mexican fireleg tarantula, Brachypelma bomi. Not sure what sex this one is yet. I'm hoping this turns out to be a female. I used to have one called Katana, a very old female that passed away early last year, or the year before. Alright, number 58 is my Brachypelma hybrid, which is a Baumgarteni cross bomi. I'm still going to call it the Mexican Orange Beauty. Now this tea is in pre-molt, so if you don't know what a tea looks like in pre-molt, so here's a little refresher course. As you notice from the camera, I'm pointing directly at the abdomen. You can definitely pick up a purplish blue and black tinge on it. So whenever you see that as in your bald spot, then you definitely know that your tea is in pre-molt. So at this stage, just don't feed them. Usually they take her anywhere between a week to about 2 weeks before they actually molt. And whenever they do molt, just give them water, don't even feed them, and give them at least a week or two to fully harden before you can actually start feeding. You don't want to feed them too early because it's not good for their fangs, and they can damage it in the process because the fangs are really soft at that stage. But a pretty cool tea, and I'm a little kind of disappointed it wasn't the real Baumgarteni, but it's still a very beautiful specimen. 59 is my mature female Brachypelma emilia, the Mexican painted redleg. This is a very beautiful tarantula. One of my best eaters in my collection is my Brachypelma classy, Mexican pink, named Petunia. You can see why they call it the Mexican pink, because it has pinkish hairs all over her legs. Ah, the hobby classic. This is Athena. She is my 5.5-inch Brachypelma Smithy, Mexican red knee. Number 62. This is another famous tarantula on my channel, and she's really the one that rekindled back my passion for teas back in 2007, and if it weren't for her I wouldn't have many teas, as well as would be posting these great videos. This is Scarlet, my Brachypelma Smithy, Mexican red knee. And for those of you who remember my videos from way back in 2007 when I first began to upload videos, I made videos of her when she was really young. So she's sure have grown on me since then, and I really like this one. Unfortunately, I won't be able to handle her in many videos now because she's a little bit more skittish than she used to be, and then she kicks a lot of hair. So for the safety of the spider, I probably not going to handle her, but she's really cool and very calm. Alright, not sure if you can actually see this one very well. This is number 63, a Brachypelma vagans, Mexican red rump. This is the smallest tarantula that is currently in my collection. Got this one as a freebie from TC. And this is my other one, freebie. Another vagans. Which brings it to 64. Yeah, recently molted. See the molt right over here. And here's another vagans, Annette, who's getting a little larger. I believe this could be a female, a little juvenile. 67 is my last bee vagans, the largest of them all, and this is a full-grown specimen, and these guys get really, really large, and definitely, in my opinion, very skittish and very defensive. Let me just prod this one out. Just show you, yeah, very flicky, as all Brachypelmas do. There we go. As you can see, very large. Seven inches. Almost 8. Largest of the Brachypelma genus. And here they are. They kind of look like bee vagans to me. This is here a Brachypelma verdezi, Mexican rose gray. I have 2 females. This one is Kalinka, around 2.5 inches. Simply use a 2-liter shoebox enclosure. It's fine for that size. And this one here is Dr. Cossack, which I originally thought as a male until I sexed its molt and realized that it is another female. A lot of red hair on the abdomen, and what bee verdezi are famous for is that they also have the dark triangle on their carapace, very similar to the bee vagans, although not as big and prominent as that one. So that is all the Brachypelmas that I have. Aw, look at her. She's being very adorable. And she actually decided to come out and play with us. This is my Regal jumping spider, Iridopelma regius. And I just want to show you how quick these guys are. They actually have one of the best field of vision due to their eye arrangement. Unlike most tarantulas that have all of their 8 eyes close up together, like in a cluster, these guys have their eyes one eye here, 2 eyes there, and the other eye on the side. So they have much more better field of vision. An impressive spider that I recently got, I think it was on my birthday, and one of the best that I've owned. And this here is a little female. I wanted to breed these, but unfortunately the male passed away just shortly after I bought it. Not very aggressive, but these guys are tremendously very fast. Alright, now time to put this one in the cage. Alright, now back to the teas. This is number 70, Mystery, a 6-inch female Cytherocanthus livingstoni, the Livingston's tarantula. Now to show you some of my Lasiadoras, you already see my Difficilis. So this is one of my female LPs, salmon pink bird eater, Daniela, around, I would say, a good 5.5 inches. Here is Goma, my other LP female, around 4.5 inches, the smaller one of the 3. Number 73 is my Lasiodora klugi, Bahia scarlet bird eater. This is Necroth, a male. This is Willow, a 3-inch female Lasiodora fracta, smoky gray bird eater. Number 75. Not sure if this will come up well on the camera. You can definitely make out a T here. Ah, there we go. Better. This is a Lasiodurides striatus, which is the Goliath stripe-leg bird eater. This is the one that gets pretty large, around 7.5 inches. 76 is my immature male, Zenithus emanus, Colombian lesser black. A nice shot of baby Lisa, my Tapinauchenius sancti vincenti, St. Vincent's tree spider. This is a 4.5 to 5 inch mature female. I'm just going to push her at better light so you can actually see what she looks like. Kind of looks like an A versicolor. A little bit, but not too much. As you can see, not very friendly, as most tappies are. My near 3-inch female, Tapinauchenius gigas, the orange tree spider. These are one of the fastest tarantulas in the world. And with their attitude, it makes them quite a dangerous spider for the newcomer. And definitely the gigas happens to be the largest member of the Tapinauchenius, reaching a 5.5 inch leg span. Very similar to the one on the H. maculata. Now we'll check in some of the slings that I recently got on Christmas. Well, I tell you that my Valicios died. So I still have my Tapinauchenius latipeeps, the ghost tree spider. It looks like that specimen recently molted. It gotten a lot bigger since I last saw this one. And this is the gold tree spider, Tapinauchenius eleni. I definitely see a molt there. This is also another quick growing species. Oh yeah, definitely. Her colors are much more vibrant. T number 80 is my Avicularia versicolor, the Antilles Pinto. This is Trinity. This is the same one that I got 4 years ago from Shanrock's 777. Doing very well with my care, and this is absolutely one of the gorgeous Avix that I own. At least color-wise. Now, I had another one, the late Tetra, who had a dark, well, like more of a turquoise coloration. And if you look here, sort of like a emerald green, but impressive looking Avic. This is a 3.5 inch female, not even fully mature yet, so. Well, yeah, she is matured. She just needs to grow a little bit more. And here's a better shot of Zelda, my P. regalis, that I've seen in the first update that she wasn't visible, and now she is. Very big pokey. This is a near full-grown female, Avicularia lata, Puerto Rican pinto. One of more defensive Avix that I've worked with. Behaves very much like a tappy. 82, Avicularia, common pinto, Annabelle, who is currently sitting on an egg sac, so I will not disturb her. Number 83 is a very big female, Acanthoscuria brocklehursti, the giant white banded. 84, juvenile male. This belongs to Logan, named Desire. He is a Acanthoscuria geniculata male, giant white knee. I currently have a mature male that is breeding along with Tarantula Canada. Unfortunately, he did not make it and did not breed with one of their females. Oh, I did forgot to mention about the Tapinauchenius. I do also have a mature male that's with TC. Is currently breeding with one of their females, so fingers crossed for an egg sac. Okay, 86 is my female Acanthoscuria suina, which is known as the sulfur brown bird eater. This is a 2.5-inch confirmed female named Chelsea. Alright, these guys you're really not going to find on video because I certainly can't find them. Here I have a Scolopendra alternans, the giant Haitian centipede. I have my big female somewhere in her enclosure. She's got like holes galore, so she can be anywhere. And somewhere in this pill jar is one of her offspring. Here's another invert of mine. It's also an arachnid. Many people are wondering if this one is still alive, and sure enough it is. This is my, I believe to be a female, Masticroproctus giganteus, giant American vinegaroon. Still doing very well. Yeah, he's right there in her burrow. A pet hole. 87, a Grammostola pulchra, Brazilian black, a 3-inch male named Roy. And here is big old Ebony. I had her since 2001 when she was around Roy's size. You can see she's very massive and extremely black. One of the blackest teas in the hobby. This is number 89, a very large tea. This is a Iridopelma rubronitans, also known as the Panamanian giant red rump. Very different from the B. vagans, it does not have the cream outline on the carapace. Number 90 is Nadia, a 4.5-inch female Nondu chromatus, the white stripe bird eater. Number 91, a very big male, well, starting to grow anyway. This is my Nondu tripepi, the giant blonde bird eater. He's around at least a good 4 inches. Yeah, this is number 92. Sweet, sweet amber. Euopus species red. As I mentioned in my trailer video, that these are one of the best beginner species. Very catatonic, very friendly, and very unlikely to bite. Very similar to species orange and species yellow. That's where they got the species red name, by the reddish tinges on the abdomen. Number 93 is the elusive Chromatopelma cyanopubescens, green bottle blue, 6-inch mature female, named Valencia. The spawn from hell! So this is Isabella, Phormictopus cancerides, Haitian brown bird eater. Not a friendly tea whatsoever, one of my most defensive that I've worked with. Just touching her will actually make her rear up in threat posture. 96. Very rare that she's not in threat pose is Jezebel, my other P. cancerides. This one here is much more larger, to the 7-inch mark. 98. Phormictopus auratus, Cuban bronze, 2.5-inch or 3-inch male named Don Manuel. Got that from Resident Evil 4, one of the Ganado villagers. Ooh, nice! I got a molt from Holly. She is my... Ooh. Not very friendly now. Oh, started to see some temperament change from her. This is a Phormictopus platus, of course. Phormictopus, spawn from hell. This is known as the Caribbean island bird eater. Now I did check the ventral shot, and this one could be a suspect female, which is pretty cool, and she is growing pretty fast. I got her 2 years ago as a 1/2 inch spiderling. Now she's about 1.5 inches. Number 99, had this one for about 5 years now, is I believe to be a suspect female Phoebopus udamen, which is the emerald skeleton, nearly full grown. T number 100, I really brought out the big guns this time, is my elusive Panthobeteus species chicken spider, around a 8.5 to 9 inch mature female. I named this one Shelob, of course, a fitting name for such a big beast. 101, my Panthobeteus species Platyama, pink bloom bird eater, a female, around 4 inches. Oh wow, this is crazy, another molt. This one here is Cleveland. He is my Iridopelma rufescens, burgundy skeleton. As you can see why it's called a skeleton, because of their striped knees. Not very common in the hobby. This one here is the more common one. He's back there. This one here is a popular skeleton, Ephopus muranus. That one just molted. Yeah, it did. There you go. You just barely make out his legs. I betcha he's hungry. Number 104 or 105. This is my Panthobeteus ultramarinus, the Ecuadorian pink-purple femur. Unfortunately, a casualty in my collection. The infamous Ocean, which was a very beautiful mature female Oligosteria diamantinensis, the Brazilian blue dwarf in beauty. May she rest in peace. Now, this is another tarantula I believe I handled before. This is my Haplopus species Columbia large, the pumpkin patch, Kina, who is a 1.5 inch confirmed female by molt and by ventral shot. Alright, here's another T. This one here is a Thrixopelma pruriens, which is known as the Chilean green velvet. Much more defensive and skittish of the Thrixopelma genus. This is Jan. Here's a nice blue tea that, just molted. Sweet. This one here is a Thrixopelma sanulum, which is known as the cobalt red rump. So I'd like to show you the classic threat posture of the Thrixopelma genus. It's actually quite funny. I'm just going to touch her very, very gently. And as you can see, she's bobbing up her abdomen up and down. So that's her way of saying that stay away from me or else I'll kick urticating hair. Usually these sanulum are quite docile and are quite easily handled. I remember handling mine on video before she molted. This tea has a name that shares a relation to one of my popular shows that I like to watch, Hell's Kitchen. This is a Cryptophilus ramsey, also known as the Cuban pygmy. This is Tektite. As you can see, not a very docile tea whatsoever, very hungry, and quite underrated in the Canadian hobby. No one seems to be buying these, but I certainly love them. They are great looking, as well as they have such an immense feeding response. So definitely not a tea that you would want to handle. And this one, I'm not going to take this one out. This is my Megaphobema robustum, Colombian giant red lake. Now for my Psalmopoeus collection. This one here is a P. erminia, Venezuelan sun tiger. And here's another one in the burrow. This one here is a P. reduncus, Costa Rican orange mouth. Right over here. Panama Blonde, P. pulcher, right over here, and P. cambridgei, Trinidad chevron, Spiderling, and Trina, my big adult female, Trinidad chevron, around 7 inches, huge. And the last but not least, big old Gretel, around 9 to 10 inches, Theraphosa sturmei, Burgundy Goliath bird eater. So I think this is pretty much covers all the T's in my collection. I do have around 123 if I counted right, plus the 2 mature males that are currently with TC, the T. gigas and the P species long-haired, Larry. So fingers crossed for more babies, especially the Avix that are going to come out in 3 weeks time. 3 months time actually. Alright, so I've shown you all the inverts. Now for the non-inverts. I have a couple, not as many as these, but here goes. 2 guinea pigs, Cavia porcellus. This is Leah, a year-old Abyssinian. And here's Haley, long-haired, silky. Very calm, very sweet. She's a little bit more of the nervous side. This is my Russian dwarf hamster, or Campbell's hamster, Photopoeus campbelli. Little female. Where did that thing go? Cute. And of course my co-star. Hey Maggie. My 9-year-old female Shih Tzu. Feels good, eh Maggie? Huh? She loves when you rub her bum. Yeah. Well everyone, I do hope you enjoyed the awesome tour video. It was very cool to update the T's and witness so many molts. So the next time I upload a video is going to be the feeding video, either today or tomorrow. And hope you enjoy it. Thanks!